watching Texuma's Fox News at 9 in high definition.
Good evening, I'm Mechell Dixon. Opponents of the controversial Keystone XL pipeline scored a victory tonight in the U.S. Senate.
The yeas are 59, the nays are 41. The bill is not passed.
Just one vote separated defeat from victory. Now, it's the first time since 2008 Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid allowed a floor vote on a piece of legislation his party largely opposes. Now, many say the reason for the vote is because Louisiana Democrat Mary Landrieu is in a tight runoff Senate race with Republican Congressman Bill Cassidy. The Bayou State stands to gain tens of thousands of new jobs from the pipeline, and come January, when the new Republican majority Congress convenes, the bill's chances of passing both houses of Congress will significantly increase. Well, here in Texas, federal indictments against Governor Rick Perry will stay. A judge denied a motion by the defense to dismiss the charges over paperwork errors. Now, the case against Governor Perry started with last year's drunk driving arrest of Travis County District Attorney Rosemary Lenberg. Now, Perry's lawyers argue it's his constitutional role as governor to veto any budget item he chooses. As for a 2016 run for president, well, Perry says he will decide in the next 6 months on that. Wichita Falls police say a couple is facing charges after they left their 2 children alone in a cold apartment to go and smoke meth. Now, 32-year-old Joshua Sanders and 26-year-old Casey Williams are both charged with 2 counts of child abandonment or endangering. According to the arrest affidavit this morning, police were called to an apartment on Professional Drive after a young girl was found outside an apartment screaming at the top of her lungs. Police say the temperature was about 25 degrees, and the 4-year-old girl was only in her underwear. They say they also found a second child in his underwear locked inside a room. Now, after looking for their parents for about 15 minutes, officers say Sanders and Williams arrived. Now, tonight, both are out on bond. Well, those in law enforcement take an oath to help those in need despite the situation. However, a situation last month in Electra caught one police officer by surprise. And because of his response to that situation, tonight he was presented a special award by Electra City leaders. A round of applause erupted during the Electra City Commission meeting as Officer James Ward received the Life-Saving Achievement Award. And it's all because of an encounter this man had with a nest of wasps on October 1st.
First I got stung on the hand, and I thought, well, you know, that's happened sometimes. And then I get stung right here under my neck. And then as I ran away a little bit, I got hit twice in the leg.
Easter says he went to this Dollar General to get wasp spray and says he started feeling funny, so he left.
And I got in my car and I drove just half a block or so, and everything started going white.
Easter pulled over at this intersection and called 911. Meanwhile, Officer Ward was across the street at a convenience store and noticed his car.
And when I walked up, I noticed Mr. Easter slumped over the wheel, and he was having difficulty breathing.
Officer Ward says his Army combat medic training in Afghanistan kicked in, and he made sure Easter got to Electra Memorial Hospital and was treated for having an allergic reaction to wasp venom. As for being helped by his friend, who was actually responding to a possible robbery call, Easter had this to say about Ward.
He's a very special officer.
Yes, he is. Now, Easter says he's been stung several times in the past, but this was the first time he's ever had an allergic reaction. And although he and Electra officials are calling him a hero, Officer Ward says he was just doing what an officer does, and he just happened to stay at the convenience store after the robbery was called off, which allowed him to help his friend. Now, 2 dispatchers, by the way, also received the award for collecting all necessary information to help doctors diagnose and treat Easter. Well, don't go away, folks. Kevin's forecast is up next, and morning prayers turn deadly for Americans in Israel. You'll hear what President Obama has to say about it. Plus, the latest on nuclear talks between the West and Iran as the deadline approaches. Of course, Kevin joins us. You know, I'm happy that it was a little bit warmer today, so
Yes.
will tonight be a little bit warmer too?
Do you think that your happiness will go up at the same level as the temperature?
I hope so.
I hope so too, because by the end of the week, she will be dancing on the news desk.
Yay! Well, a man wanted for parole violation and aggravated assault on a public servant in Wise County is in jail tonight. And it's all thanks to the combined resources of several law enforcement agencies. 32-year-old Brian King was arrested last night in Bowie. Officials say he was taken into custody after a lengthy search by Bowie police, Montague County deputies, DPS, and Texas game wardens. Officials say they scoured 500 acres with a deputy literally colliding with King before he was arrested.
In that pursuit, he had actually rammed one of the deputies' squad cars with his car.
Sheriff Paul Cunningham says deputies found King in a Bowie home on East Wilbarger Street. He's now in the Montague County Jail. His bond is expected to be set sometime tomorrow. Halloween isn't just about candy and costumes. For some, it's also about what's on the silver screen. Ooh, creepy, still ahead. Some thrillers at the box office that are sure to get your blood pumping this weekend. The scary details after the break.
By midday, we'll crawl back up near 50 degrees southwest winds, about 10 to 15 miles per hour. Michelle?
All right, thank you. And as always, thank you for joining us. Have a good night.